I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walked the bridge and we built it. Two hoes got the boy on kill clip.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Monday Night Raw tonight, and I hope you also checked out the Joe Cronin Show review. We just finished up that about 25 minutes ago, so make sure you go check that out over at Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. But it's time for the Dead on Dave Monday Night Raw review. And I know I normally don't go live on Mondays, but I decided I think this is a good idea. Right after Joe Cronin Show, you can catch me live right here to do my review. And you never know who's going to drop by. Joe Cronin, Jesse Tosevich, Tommy C. You just never know, and that's kind of the cool thing of it. We're going to get into my copious amounts of notes because I took a whole bunch of them. So we're going to get in all of that and much, much more. Take your calls, questions, qualms, and concerns so you guys can let me know what you thought of Monday Night Raw. Now, I got to be honest right off the bat. I enjoyed Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a good Raw. A lot of fun. Thought a lot of stuff was going on. I thought it was just a good Raw, solid. Let me clarify. The last hour, the third hour, was awesome, and it brought the rest of the show up. The first 2 hours were, it almost felt like they were just waiting for the third hour. Now, a lot of things did happen within the first 2 hours that were, okay, it's not terrible, but nothing really groundbreaking. We're going to get everything. We're going to start at the beginning of the show. So make sure if you want to get your voice heard, go ahead and call in on Skype anytime. David Vancura, DavidVancura, and I will take your calls, and we'll have a merry old time. All right? We'll also be checking out what you guys are doing in the comment section because I know y'all be crazy up in there. So we'll get to all of that, and we'll have a good old time. So let's start with the beginning of the show. Brock Lesnar opens the show, and I did want to answer a question. That's right. My question is, what does the title mean? Also, I can't watch TV, lost cable. Have to use you and YouTube to find out what happened. The title I had earlier for this video was Cesaro's Rebirth. I have since changed it to the second coming of Cesaro. Now, the meaning of that is because of the main event. Cesaro had an amazing match with Cena for the second week in a row on Monday Night Raw. Now, why I mean it's the second coming or the rebirth of Cesaro is there was a time a couple years ago after he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal where Cesaro was red hot, on fire, And it looked like he was going to be the man, the next guy. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Mainly because they dropped the ball with him, put him with Heyman, and nobody gave a crap. It just wasn't the right move for him. So, he's been toiling in this obscurity realm for quite a long time. He got back into the tag team division, rebuilt himself, and now it seems like he's back at that high level that he was before they made the mistake of putting him with Heyman and turning him back super heel. People want to cheer this guy. They needed a reason, and now they're putting him in there with Cena and having these matches that they are having with him. Even though he's not beating Cena, it's giving him that reason. We're seeing how great Cesaro truly is. So he is really being elevated, hence the second coming of Cesaro. So there you go. Let's get to the beginning of the show. Let's start there. Brock Lesnar comes out to open the show, and he is pissed off. He wants to kick some ass, and Heyman cuts another classic promo because that's what Heyman does. It's nonstop awesomeness with the mouthpiece of the Beast incarnate. He did a great job setting up the rest of the night, using all of the Heyman-isms that he uses. It did feel a little face-ish, like they're really trying to make Brock that face now. And I don't think that Brock is the face of the company. I don't feel it's the right role for him. He needs to be that tweener, that ass kicker that's capable of anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with having that guy. You don't have to have ultimate face versus ultimate heel all the time. I don't think it's necessary, So we got that, and it was a good start to the show. I thought I was pretty happy with it. And then they immediately follow it up with some dumbass Kane pictures of him in Hawaii, where they just superimposed Kane into different positions in Hawaii. And as stupid as it was, I got to admit, it made me laugh. I am about as lowbrow as it goes. So that's how we started the show. Very unbalanced and strange, and it was weird. So yes, Brock is a face. I mean, if you haven't been able to tell ever since the friggin', this is to Mo Bunk in the chat there, Brock is a face. Yeah, Brock is a face right now. They're treating him as a face. He's wearing a Suplex City t-shirt. They're not hammering home all of his villainous acts anymore. He gave Michael Cole a noogie. Yes, Brock Lesnar is a face right now. There's no question about that. Heyman was placating for cheers tonight. Yes, he is a face, and it's unfortunate. They're going at it a little bit more every week. They're being a little subtle about it now, but it's getting worse and worse as time goes on. I think we're going to notice it, and it's going to bastardize everything that they've built with Brock Lesnar. And it's all because he uttered 3 words: Suplex City, bitch. But I digress. Back into what happened on Raw. So yeah, they started with the weird throwing in the Kane stuff. You know, I was like, okay. First match of the night, we got Big Show and Ryback with Miz at ringside with a microphone. Now, that was interesting, and it was a cool little thing to see Miz try to stir the pot. There were some funny moments with him getting in Big Show's ear and Ryback's ear. He screamed something very interesting during the match. He was like, "Harder, Ryback, harder." I have a feeling that's not the first time he's ever uttered those words. Harder, Ryback. Harder. Watch Maurice. Maurice, watch me. Watch me. Anyway, I thought it was good stuff out of The Miz. It was I've lost my mind. I'm tired. What do you want? Good stuff out of The Miz. I thought he worked good on the microphone. The match itself was, it was Ryback and Big Show. What really were you expecting? For those two, it wasn't that bad. Ryback is working better with bigger guys, I'm noticing lately. That was his Achilles heel like a month ago. But now it seems like he's really adapting to working better matches with bigger guys, and that's kind of interesting. Then after the match, Miz gets in. Oh, there is no finish to the match because Miz gets involved and starts pounding on both guys. Something else that I'm sure that Miz has probably uttered, or somebody's uttered about the Miz at some point. And and then the Miz pounded on both guys. I don't know why all the gay stuff today, but hey, what are you gonna do? I'm tired. What can I say? So Miz begs off, tries to not get beaten up by the two larger men, but eventually he does. He gets shell-shocked and choke-slammed, and then Ryback gets the best of Big Show as well. Finally, the Intercontinental Triple Threat situation is starting to get a little more interesting. It's about time, and it's kind of cool. It's interesting. It's interesting. Let's see. Let's look in the chat here. If Seth wins, where does he go and fight next? Dean for the 100th time. Seth's not winning. I can answer that question pretty easily. Seth is not winning. But I'll get into that a little bit more later on. I'm going to try to stay on the copious notes. Then we get more Authority vignettes. They're a little annoying, but tolerable, I thought. Taking shots at my cubbies. Wasn't too happy about that. But it was what it was. So to sum up the Ryback match, I thought it was a decent match for the first match of the night. You want to go a little more high octane in front of a crowd like Chicago, but they went with a stiff match between those two, and it's all good. I do agree with the chat. Thunder129 says Ryback needs to stop wearing the RVD strap shirt. I agree. It's called a singlet, and I agree 100%. I think Ryback looks badass when he's not wearing anything on top. I think he looks awesome. He's jacked. He looks great. So let's get back into the notes here. Oh, then we got the second match tonight, Brie versus Paige. Paige is going through the Bella Alliance, but this time, unfortunately, Bella does not... Paige does not get the best of the Bellas this time, and just the numbers were too much for her and she gets taken down. I thought the match was decent. One thing I noticed was Paige is no longer wearing the pentagram strap. She had a pentagram. Her straps were in the design of a pentagram. It's gone now. I'm wondering if that's because it took a few weeks for someone in WWE to realize that, oh, wait, pentagram? They're going to think she's worshiping Satan. Oh, Satan. No, I have no idea why, but it's gone. Will it return? I have no idea. Just something I noticed. Not a big deal. Just something I noticed. The match was decent. It wasn't horrible. Brie, whatever was wrong with Brie to where she was working unbelievably just non-watchable matches, it's been fixed. She's not great, but she's watchable now, and Paige is always great. I love Paige. She was really hard-hitting tonight. That match was a lot more aggressive than we usually see, and Paige was a big reason for that. So I did enjoy that, but the match itself was still basically throwaway, and it's just because we're tired of this Bella situation. We're tired of constantly seeing the Bellas get shoved down our throats, but it is what it is. Then we got Roman Reigns. We get the recap of his situation with Bray Wyatt, which I'm still very much a fan of. I think it's been pretty damn cool. We get Roman Reigns and Sheamus next. Now, this match was interesting to me. I feel in a lot of places this match would have played really well. The problem is Chicago's not a huge fan of Roman Reigns. His reaction got worse throughout the match. And Sheamus is in this weird position because depending on where he's at, there's absolutely no reaction for him at all. He's not getting good reaction or a bad reaction. He's just getting nothing, and that's worrisome. I also hate the fact that there is no emphasis on the Money in the Bank. None, zero, zilch. We're not hearing anything about Sheamus and Money in the Bank. I get that that's something that they're leaving for later, but the point of the Money in the Bank is to become relevant, to have that threat of all time. This is where you should be the most visible guy on the roster because you should always be looming, but he hasn't been. So it's very strange. Let's go into the chat for a second. First, let's finish up. Let's finish up with this match. Roman Reigns, Sheamus. I thought it was a pretty decent match. I thought the crowd was a little unfair. They were chanting for JBL and everything. I thought it was a really physical, gritty match that, like, if it was in Japan would have eaten it up. They love these stiff, really hard-hitting matches, and I liked that. I thought it was a decent match. Roman inevitably gets distracted by a Bray Wyatt stunt double, it turns out to be, and it led to a very weird ending. I felt there was technical issues that we usually don't get from WWE. It was a little strange. Roman runs down the ramp, punches this guy who looks like Bray Wyatt, pulls off his wig. We don't really get to see all of that. We just see Roman punching a guy and holding his wig. We really don't see much. The weirder part for me was after that, the lights come back on, and the ref just waves off the match and says he was counted out. And that was it. I was a little disappointed with that because I felt, this is just little things, but I feel little things matter in these types of situations. When the light goes back on, if the ref just says 10 and then waves it off, boom, we know exactly what's happening. There's continuity. It's great. So, I don't know. It's fairly interesting to me that this happened like that, but it kind of pissed me off. But it didn't take away from the overall match. I thought it was decent. I actually enjoyed it. After it, RKO comes out, returns, and wears Sheamus out and hits an RKO out of nowhere. So, before we continue on through my notes, let's look into the chat because I know we got a lot of stuff going on in there. Dave, what are your thoughts on Finn Balor? Finn Balor, that's Jay Cardi. Finn Balor is awesome. He is the future and not the long off future. He'll be coming up very soon. I'm hoping probably by the end of the year, maybe even around WrestleMania. I think he's amazing. I love Finn Balor, and he's going to be a huge, huge star if they build him correctly. They just can't drop the ball with him. That's all. Logan Barrett, Stone Cold will be at Battleground. Unless you're reading that from somewhere and you're hearing it, I don't know if that's true. I don't see that happening, but it's very possible he could be revealing the game there, the game cover. They could be doing a more public reveal. That's possible. Battleground's going to be in St. Louis, not exactly Stone Cold's backyard, so I wouldn't bank on it unless you're hearing something, reading something that I don't know. So that's very possible. Let's see here. Commander Critter, what's good, Dave? Yo. Also, Michael Cole and Byron Saxton were on their games tonight. I agree. They were on their games tonight. They really were. I thought it was a very interesting announcing crew tonight. They seem to really be just as good as they were at Japan, except for JBL. JBL is the issue, or it could just be the third man joining the crew. That could be a problem as well. There's an issue there. There's a drop-off. When JBL continues to spout his stupidity, it just gets really annoying and repetitive, and you just kind of want to stab yourself in the face. But you suffer through it, and that's kind of what we had to do. But Saxton and Cole, yes, they were great tonight. Cole especially. Cole, I never give Cole credit, but I'm going to give credit to Michael Cole because I thought he was really, really good. Really, really good. Let's see here. The door that Brock threw hit CM Punk, right? No. I don't think it did. Mo Bunk. Japan likes matches that has two big guys that hit hard. Yeah, they do like hard-hitting type stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be two big guys, but the hard-hitting stuff is very, very over in Japan. So that's why I said that match would have played well in Japan. Commander Critter says, the fact that Lesnar is so strong that the car door hit a fan was amazing. Only in Chicago. Ha, ha, ha. I love that. We're going to talk about that segment a little bit later, but the discus throwing of the door was incredible. It was incredible. So let's get back into my copious amounts of notes and see what's crackling. And remember, crack-a-lackin', I should say. And remember, if you want to get your voice heard, you can call in on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura. Don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have yet to do so. Let's go ahead and get back into it. What we got? Where are we? Okay. RKO returns. The next thing I got in my copious amounts of notes, I thought there was a really good backstage segment between Triple H and Seth Rollins. Seth being more of the Seth that I can tolerate, that cool, cocky Seth. I thought that was very interesting. I love Triple H getting into Seth's ear, getting into his head like that. I thought that was a lot of fun. Telling him what he needs to do, giving him a bunch of advice. I thought that was cool. But Seth deciding to call out the Beast. That's an interesting way to go. But I like the way he described it. I like the way he explained it. I'm going to do what nobody would expect me to do. I've got to call out the Beast. I love that. It reminded me of like Sandlot. We got to pickle the Beast. I got to pickle the Beast. I loved it. Rusev and Summer out next in a weird angle, but mainly because Rusev comes out and just cannot talk. Rusev is completely lost. He says all kinds of weird things. Refers to Lana as hot, or refers to Summer as Hot Summer at one point. Also calls her docile and obedient and complacent. It was great. But strange segment. Eventually, Dolph Ziggler and Lana come out, and God, Lana is so sexy. It makes me want to melt my face off. And shit got real because Lana took them heels off and was ready to stomp a bitch out. But then Rusev shows the world that his health is much better than we thought. His foot is just fine as he super kicks, Yakuza kicks, whatever you want to call that move. Dolph Ziggler right in the mush with that boot, laying him out, and then he takes it a step farther by jamming a crutch into Dolph's throat, which I thought was a really good spot. Also, Summer kicked Lana right in the fucking back, like hard, and then threw her ass out of the ring. And once again, we got to see Lana's ass. That was awesome. So that was a cool segment. I thought finally something is happening here between these people that I care about. It's about friggin' time. And more than likely, we're going to get some kind of a tag team match at Battleground between Dolph Ziggler and Lana and Summer and Rusev. And this will be Lana's introduction into the ring, which I think will get her over even more. It was much akin to what they did with Sable, you know. And I think that's basically the same building process, except, you know, Lana's probably not going to show her cooter and everything there. She's already done it, so... And they're lovely. I've got lost in the Lana vagina vortex very often. Every time I look at those pictures, I get fucking lost. And it's great. It's great. Yeah, you did. Well, Jake Hardy in the chat says, I missed some ass fuck. Well, you didn't miss any ass fuck, but you did miss ass. And that's true. Let's get back to the copious amounts of notes here. Here we are. Probably one of the most disputed parts of the night people were talking about and like, what the hell's going on? Bo Dallas versus Dean Ambrose. Now, Joe Cronin said it perfectly. He beat me to it, but everyone's like, why is he taking on Bo Dallas? It makes no sense. Well, sometimes when you're capped out, when you're at a spot, when there's really nowhere for you to go, as Dean Ambrose is, he really, they're not ready to put him into the Intercontinental titles picture or the United States title picture or anything like that. They feel that he's above that, but he's not quite at the main event roster. So sometimes the best thing that you can do is to go on and start rebuilding him, getting him some victories over some of the lower talent on the card. Now, it accomplishes a few things. One, it makes your superstar look strong again. He gets on a winning streak. He starts dominating, and then he has all kinds of leverage to build on to demand a title shot, whatever. It also gives a lot of the guys that you're trying to learn more about more visibility. And I think that's important too. You get to see Bo Dallas work with Dean Ambrose. You'll probably get to see guys like Adam Rose and other lower card guys work with some of the top guys in the company, and that's something we don't get to see. This was a staple of 90s wrestling, 80s and 90s wrestling on television, that is. It was a staple of that. That's how you built your guys back up. It wasn't always just about Dean Ambrose taking on freaking Seth Rollins every single week. We've seen that. Now we need to kind of go back and come back in, and that's what we're getting, and that's not so bad. The match itself, there was nothing wrong with it. Bo Dallas got some good offense in. Dean Ambrose subsequently gets the victory, and it was a good match. It was fun. It was interesting. We got to see Dean Ambrose, and seeing Dean Ambrose is the important thing, and getting to see a little bit of Bo Dallas, I think, is good for him as well. However, Bo needs to get his ass in shape because he's too small. He's too small to not be in good shape. Because you're already small, you've got to go ahead and be in decent condition. Look at Neville. Neville is probably the smallest guy in the roster right now besides Kalisto. But Kalisto's got that crazy... He doesn't have to have a big physique because he's like a Rey Mysterio type guy. Neville's also a big high flyer, but you take him a little bit more seriously when he goes after guys because he's just a giant ball of muscle. We got our first caller of the night, and let's take it now. Chris Warren, you are live with Dead on Dave. What's going on? How'd you enjoy Raw, bud?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I'd give it like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
That's a little higher than me. I'm somewhere in the 7 range. So I could be talked down to a 6 because of some of the stuff that happened earlier on. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you right around a 7 range. I enjoyed it. What did you like specifically, my friend?
I liked the Dean Ambrose Bo Dallas match. Not because
you're the only one.
No, not because of the match, but because of the crowd. Bo Dallas is over tonight.
You're 100% right, and I was just about to get that because that is in my notes there. Did we seriously get a "Let's Go Ambrose, we leave" chant? And we certainly did.
It went on for like a good couple of minutes too.
It did. It really did. That was quite interesting. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" By the way, for those in the chat, hold on one second, bud. For those in the chat who don't know what's going on, from now on, I will be going live after the Joe Cronin show No matter what time of Joe Cronin show ends, if you need more Monday Night Raw coverage, I will be going live right here directly after it. So make sure you spread the word. Dead on Dave is going live each and every Tuesday morning for me, Tuesday night for you, Monday night for you. And you can come check me out right here, right after Joe Cronin. And if you haven't watched the Joe Cronin Show review, make sure you go check that out as well, because it was pretty damn good. For those of you who are in the chat right now, make sure you click that like button, goddammit, because why the hell not? If you've been here long enough to register, hey, this guy's okay, I don't want to kill myself listening to him, throw me a like. What's it going to hurt? And if you haven't subbed, make sure you subscribe as well. Chris Warren, please go ahead. Continue, my friend.
Yes, I tuned in right in the middle of that match, and I was like, why the fuck is Dean Ambrose fighting Bo Dallas? Yeah. And then the chant started, and I was like, that's why he's facing Bo Dallas.
Well, I don't think that was the reason that wasn't their reasoning. They booked the match because sometimes, like I was just explaining, sometimes this has to happen where a guy doesn't really have anywhere to go, and they kind of have to start rebuilding him with some of the lower talent on the card. I think that's exactly why they did it. I think the reaction was probably very surprising to them, because Bo doesn't get those reactions everywhere. It's very specific places that he gets those reactions, and Chicago's one of them.
Yeah, it's mostly the hardcore crowds that Bo gets over with, and
yeah, but unfortunately, I don't feel it. I think it's giving him a disservice because he's terrible. He's really
Bray's
bad.
Better.
Well, yeah, that's unfair though. That's an unfair comparison. Bray's got a rock solid gimmick, man.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say?
I have no idea.
Cesaro, how about him, man? He was a star tonight.
Yeah, Cesaro. Hell, I titled the show after him tonight because Cesaro was an absolute stud. What a great match, and I'm gonna get into that in a little more in depth here. I'm going through the notes. I'm trying to stay in some kind of order, and I'm going to not only put Cesaro over, but I'm going to bury Cena, and probably not for a reason that you guys would be expecting. So stick with me for that, because that's going to be real friggin' interesting. Because I'm not a John Cena supporter, but I do defend him, because I feel that he's much better than people give him credit for. However, tonight, that was it for me. And I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. Make sure you stick around for that. You got anything else from Mr. Warren?
Yeah. Just one more thing. I was hoping that the match would end in a DQ again, like Kevin Owens would interfere.
I'm glad they didn't.
It was, yeah. I'm glad they finished the match this time, but I was hoping, I was like, I know it was never going to happen, but I was hoping it would end in a DQ so Cesaro would get involved and it would become a triple threat, but I knew it was never going to happen.
I think that there's a very good possibility, depending on what they do next week on Monday Night Raw, that we could see Cesaro inserted into the Battleground match. I think there's a possibility for it. If not, there's really no other reason as to why to have Cesaro on the show again tonight. Well, and Chris Tosevich over at the Joe Cronin Show, he pointed this out to me. He made the point, and it's something that I know as well, and I think it's important. The fact that they put Cesaro in the exact same match that he had last week, but higher on the card, tells me that they're watching. They're watching Cesaro, and they're seeing the matches that he's doing, and they're giving him a little bit of benefit for it. They're rewarding these efforts. So I think it's a very good possibility, especially since he made a direct threat to Owens and arguably punked him out, to make Owens leave, that there's a good possibility that we're going to see him get involved in this situation at Battleground, and that would be amazeballs. And it would add a little bit of extra fire, because we don't really, as much as I want to see Cena and Kevin Owens for the third time, I don't need to see it. You know what I mean? Because I'm afraid that it's not going to live up to the first two matches. You add Cesaro, and boom, you have a whole new thing to the match, a whole new dynamic.
Yeah, the match was great. I just didn't like what happened after the match, because the match ends, and then Kevin Owens comes out, and all of a sudden, boom, AA.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that, trust me. That's coming. So I'm just going to finish up these last few notes that I have, and believe me, I'm getting into that, and a reckoning for John Cena is coming. I'm going to unleash an unholy firestorm on this whole bullshit that we saw at the end of that match.
Thanks for taking my call, man.
Hey, no problem, man. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Take it easy.
All right, you too.
Chris Warren, everybody. Chris Warren. let's get back to the notes here. The next, we had a Battle of Kings. R-Truth versus King Barrett. Look, R-Truth, he's old as shit. He's 46. He's always in 45, 46, whatever he is. He's always in great shape. He seems to have been getting rewarded for some of his zany, weird actions lately by having some wins over some top guys. But I kept wondering, what the hell are they doing with Barrett? Why does Barrett continue to lose? Well, the losing seems to be over. Barrett's been winning the last few weeks, and now he got a definitive and strong victory over R-Truth tonight, hopefully ending these whole shenanigans. If they're not going to have some kind of gimmick where there can be only one king, then what's the point of all of this stupidity that we're seeing? So hopefully that is going to be the end of it, with Bad News Barrett getting the decisive victory over this mofo. Okay, let's see what is next. Okay, here we go. In the back, we see Seth Rollins carrying a fucking axe handle. I'm like, what the hell is going on? He comes out to the ring. Him and his two boys have these axe handles. I'm like, why axe handles? That's so weird. But it was unique enough to where I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool that we got axe handles. It could have been ball bats. It could have been lead pipes. It could have been kendo sticks. But they went with axe handles. And it becomes appropriate later on, of course, when we see the one-up version by Brock Lesnar. But Seth comes out and cuts a weird promo. It's not very concise. It's kind of all over the place. And I think he was counting on a video package to highlight it, but it seems like they played the wrong video package, which WWE almost never does. They played the wrong video package. It seemed to have thrown Seth off, and he kind of had to backtrack a little bit and then go into the challenge of calling him out. And, of course, Brock Lesnar does eventually abide. And he says, I'll give you that. You want me out here? Let me come out and show you exactly what I'm going to do. And he doesn't go to the ring. Oh, no. He looks back at the car. And we knew what was coming. Why bring that car out there if it wasn't going to get fucked up? Who knows? So instead of just Paul Heyman handing Brock Lesnar a weapon to assault this car, Paul Heyman, in his infinite wisdom and the genius that they used with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, Paul wheels out an entire fire kit, a box full of all kinds of firefighting implements. It was brilliant. It was something really small, really subtle, but I really appreciated the extra little effort there. I thought that was very cool. And he pulls out not one, but two big fucking fire axes. And how cool is that visual of Brock Lesnar with two fire axes in his hands? Awesome. And then Brock starts going crazy. He puts a friggin' axe through the door of the car with basically one swing, busts the windows, goes crazy on it, busts up the hood. It's awesome. Then he goes even a step farther. He rips a door off. He doesn't kick the door off. He ripped the damn door off and slung it like a fucking discus all the way to the side, which I thought was really cool. And apparently, if you've seen the video by now, you know that it's true. He hit a fan. He hit a fan with the door. Holy ballsack. Hits a fan with the door. The fan is okay. He got brought to the back. He got some medical attention. They made sure he was okay. He probably got some nice merchandise. He probably got comped for his ticket as well. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And that guy probably had the night of his life. He didn't get hurt. He got some cool stuff. Who the hell knows? I thought it was pretty damn cool, to be completely honest. I thought the whole segment worked. Brock then goes down to the ring. Well, actually, first, J&J tried to attack his ass, and he takes both of them out. Breaks, I say in quotation marks, breaks Jamie Noble's arm. Then he suplexes Joey Mercury onto the car. Looked pretty nasty, too. Then goes after Seth, and Seth, being the wussy pussy that he is, runs away. And that's the Seth I don't like. So I saw the Seth I do like and the Seth I don't like in the same show. So that was kind of cool. Jason Miller, I thought he was going to say, and now my assistant Brock will climb into this box. I will spin it around 3 times. That Bravo, Jason Miller. I love that. Good joke. Any magic jokes is great. Logan Barrett says, Lana is goddess. I agree. I can't read his name. L's View, something like that. Lesnar needs his own show and call it Fire Axe This. I like that too. So, pretty interesting. Let's get back to the notes here. We're almost done, and then my flaming of John Cena will commence, okay? Something I don't normally do, but it's coming. Just bear with me. A few more notes. So we got the end of the Brock Lesnar segment, which was great. Well, the problem was we hadn't had any real marquee matches for the night. That was my issue. I was like, up to this point, we didn't really have anything yet. Then we got the Lucha Dragons versus New Day. Lucha Dragons flew all over that damn place. It was great. I really enjoyed the match. But Titus O'Neil on commentary, at first, I loved it. It was awesome. He was telling JBL to call the match. He was calling JBL out for being horrible. Thought that was great. And then Titus completely forgot how to speak. At least English. I don't know what the hell he was trying to blah, 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 blah. I have no idea. Oh, the gel pudding pop. I have no idea. It was bizarre. But, he tried, and this is why he doesn't go very far, because he can't sustain a high level of entertainment without completely going to a botch fest. He made JBL look like an asshole, and then he made himself look like an asshole, and that was unfortunate. But the match itself I thought was really solid. Lucha Dragons really gave New Day everything they could handle, but made them look very good with the finish, especially with Xavier Woods getting involved, because that's just kind of what they do, pulling Kofi out of the way and Big E catching one of the Lucha Dragons and tossing him around, then getting the victory with that tag team work big ending. I thought it was a really solid match that brought the whole energy up of the crowd, brought my energy up, and after the Brock Lesnar thing, they could have easily used a filler match, but they didn't. Instead, they went ahead and gave us a really, really good match. After that, we get the Stone Cold Steve Austin reveal for the WWE 2K16 cover, which I love that commercial. I love that sneak peek, that trailer, that teaser, whatever you want to call it. I love it. Him digging the Smoking Skull belt out of the dirt in the desert. I thought that was great. I really did enjoy that. It was a nice touch. I believe more is coming with Stone Cold. I believe this is all building to something. His work with WWE, he's more involved with WWE right now than he's been in a very long time. Now, you can make the argument, well, he's not really involved with WWE. He's involved with the with the video game company, and you might be right in that. You might, because people have made that they've distinguished the difference between the two in the past. So it's very possible that could be the case. Ultimate Warrior originally was talking about that very same thing, where his work was more with the video game company than it was WWE. He just shot that trailer at WWE headquarters, but it wasn't really all that much working with him. Now, we know that the partnership would later grow, and then him being put in the Hall of Fame and all of that was awesome. So after all of that, it just, you'll wonder what's next with Stone Cold. Is he going to have a match in Texas? I have to think. I'm still thinking yes. I know he's saying no. I get that he's saying no. But you have to understand, it does not happen very often where all the stars and planets align perfectly for one big money event that we may never have an opportunity for again. Austin's 50 years old. He's not too old to compete. Yeah, his neck is probably still messed up, but he can work a match, especially this type of style that he does. Brock Lesnar, yes, he's a suplex machine, but he's also a brawler, just like Austin. If they go and have a match between Austin and Brock Lesnar now at WrestleMania 32 in Texas, it has the possibility of being the highest profit single match, if not making it the highest grossing WrestleMania in history by a wide margin. And when you have these opportunities to make these type of matches happen, you take that opportunity, because they don't happen very often. So with all that being said, I just don't see how they pass up on this opportunity, but we'll see. Black Mamba, he is joining me live. What you got, man? What'd you think of Raw?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up?
Once I saw your live stream, I was happy because I have the Time Warner cable, so they show Raw at 8 o'clock my time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get a call in live when Joe goes on because I'm still watching it or it's just starting.
Oh, okay. Well, this will be a new thing now. I'm going to be going live directly after Cronin on this channel. It's something that I basically, so I can get my review out of the way and go to sleep after and not have to worry about doing a video the rest of the day. So it just kind of works out for me because it is 8 o'clock in the morning for me now. So I'm going to go get me some sleep after this. So I'm glad that it works out for your benefit, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can finally talk about it because, I mean, I could go stream it, but I worked my schedule now around this, so it starts at 8, so I have everything done by 8, so, so watch it.
That's pretty sweet. What did you think of Raw, man?
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that good.
I think the last hour, I thought the third hour, I thought was great. I thought it was really, really good. I loved it. Loved the third hour.
What's really getting me is the Divas. Is the I don't know, for some the ballads are legit pissing me off.
Yeah, you and everybody else, because we know what they're doing. We know that that Nikki's only holding this belt as long as she is to take that record away from AJ. It's spiteful and it's small, and they can say that's not the case, but it certainly feels that way. It's just what it feels like. Whether it is or it's not, it's irrelevant. It's how it feels.
Yeah.
What else you got,
I'm getting... I just want, I want... you know how nobody's backing her up or whatever the story is?
Yeah.
I just want, some of the NXT divas just come out and kick their ass.
It seems like the most logical thing to happen. And I think it's going to happen, but they really... They're going to wait until they're a little bit closer to that 290-day mark. Because that way, when she does drop the title, it won't be after a long, drawn-out thing with an NXT Diva. I think when they bring in NXT Diva, they want to basically do what they did with Paige and give her an instant pop with making her champion immediately, or at least giving her a shot. That's what I'm thinking.
Who would come up, though? Isn't Charlotte supposed to come up already? She's been down there for a while.
It could be Charlotte. It could be Sasha. I think those are the two most likely candidates. Emma could even make a return, who she's still technically on the roster.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I like what they're doing with Emma down in NXT. The evil Emma thing really works for me. And I'm hoping that they reintroduce her. She's great in the ring. She really is. They made her a joke before, the whole Emma might sandwich and all that crap. They made her a joke. It's not her fault.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it when she came out. She was good.
She's cute, too. I like this new spicy version of her. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see who comes up. It's probably going to be Charlotte. If I had to guess, it's going to be Charlotte because she's so physically impressive.
She's a beast. She's a girl version of Brock Lesnar.
She is in a lot of ways, man. But the problem is if they want to face, it's kind of difficult to have her or Sasha, and it's for different reasons. Sasha's a full package heel chick, She's a full package. That's just who she is. It's her attitude. It's her swagger. People just want to give her heat, and she works it well. Charlotte is an inadvertent heel. It seems no matter how well she's doing or who she's helping out, fans just tend to give her the Ric Flair treatment and have a tendency to boo her or give her some heat because when you're that good, I mean, her daddy dealt with it. Ric Flair dealt with it for most of his career. Even when he was a red-hot face, he would always get those boo, and then he'd have to go to the shut up, fat boy. And I love that stuff.
Everybody likes Sasha, though. Sasha plays PlayStation Online, and she invites people to her lobbies.
Yeah.
Like a G.
She's pretty awesome, man. She is Boston. There's no question about that.
Yeah. And Kevin Owens is up already, right? Him losing is done with him down there?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that is going to end his whole run with NXT. All the last tapings were already finished. I don't think he has any new matches on the new set of tapings. However, they always reserve the right to have unfinished business with Samoa Joe, whether they do it on NXT or in the WWE eventually. They left that open-ended for a reason, I think.
Mm-hmm. And last thing is, are they going to be done with the Seth Rollins thing after all? That's boring me the most. I'm tired of Seth Rollins. I have been missing some parts of Raw because of Seth Rollins and his whole J&J security bullshit thing.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Go ahead.
So I'm not into it. Just like that main eventing everything that part with him and Dean Ambrose that I stopped watching right there because I wasn't interested in that at all.
I like their
that.
matches. I like his matches with people. I really like Seth Rollins. I love his work. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's just this whole thing with the Authority. It's coming to a head. I believe this is what I think is going to happen. He's going to lose the belt to Brock Lesnar, and then the next night, Triple H is going to be like, "I found out that you're a lump of coal and not the diamond." And he's going to turn on Seth Rollins, and they're going to turn Seth face, and that's going to lead to a match between Triple H and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, completing Seth's face turn. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. So I feel like his in-ring work, like I don't really look at that much, but I feel like it's not been as good ever since this whole him running away from people and all this bullcrap.
Well, he's playing the Weasel champion. I mean, he's playing that role.
Yeah, because before in the ring he was great. Like I couldn't wait to watch him. Now I just like I'm not even interested in him at all.
He's a badass, and he'll get back to that stuff in the ring eventually. I'm sure of it. Him dropping the title, I think, is necessary. You can't continue to have him as champion. It feels like he's been champion for 2 years, and it's only been like 4 or 5 months. I'm just done with it.
Well, because he's been with the Authority that whole time. Like in the end of Raw, he always comes out and all that. Yeah,
I think it's also telling that they decided to end the show with Cena and Cesaro instead of the Brock. I mean, I look at it this way. Not only did they not end the show with Seth Rollins, they didn't end the show with Brock Lesnar. You know, this is their like $1 million per appearance type guy. You know, they pay him a lot of money. Yeah. So I mean, they probably pay him around $100,000 and $150,000 per appearance based off his contract. So you know, to not end the show with him, I think it tells you a lot of where they're looking at Seth Rollins, because it's certainly not about Brock Lesnar. You know?
Yeah.
So, you got anything else for me? I'm about to finish up the rest of my notes here, and I'm going to go on a hell of a fucking rant on John Cena. It's going to be epic. I'll wait for that. It's going to be boiling. There's going to be fire coming out of my anus. It's going to be great.
No, who else do you think is going to come up from NXT? Because, like, when Kevin Owens came up, it was exciting. Like, it's just exciting when one of them comes up. That just, like, it's awesome.
I think the next guy we're gonna see either when Sami Zayn gets healthy again, which could be a while.
Oh yeah.
But Sami Zayn, I don't think he's gonna go back to NXT when he gets healthy. I think Sami Zayn's gonna make his return to WWE proper and probably start a feud with Kevin Owens, if I had to guess, because we're talking 6 months from now. You know, so he's gonna be out a while. I believe Finn Balor will probably be the next guy. Tyler Breeze is also an option because he can't really do much more down in NXT. So and until the next crop of guys start coming up like Uhaa Nation and some of the others, it's not going to be Solomon Crow. You know, so it's maybe even Big Cass and Enzo Amore and Big Cass Carmella. They're a good possibility. They might be the next ones up.
I don't know. You killed it for me. Like, I want to see Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar. Because remember, you kept talking about it before. I just want to see that.
Give it to me. Give me Brock and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Maybe not this year, because I really do want to take advantage of the Texas angle and Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold. Yeah. But at some point, I want to see Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar. Absolutely.
Yeah. When you started talking about that, I'm like, man, that's going to be awesome. You kept talking about that. I just can't wait for that.
That's what I do, man. I get those vaginas wet. That's what I do.
Yep.
Hey, I appreciate the call, bud, man. I haven't heard from you in a while.
I know. I just, because 4th of July I left, I wasn't here, and I want to talk about Raw sometimes. It's just that, you know, the schedule and all that. So.
Well, now you have an outlet to do that, because I'll be live each and every Monday right after the Joe Cronin Show. You can catch me right here. Hopefully around the same time, 7:15ish. So you can catch me here and enjoy that ass whooping I'm going to put on you in our Dead on Dave Productions baseball fantasy.
Edison Volquez postponed date. Get out of here.
Sucks to be Mamba.
All right, Dave.
Take it easy, bud. Black Mamba, everybody. Black Mamba. If you want to get your... Oh, we got another caller already. Pittsburgh Boy 96. You are live with Dead on Dave. What's going on? What'd you think of Raw?
It was all right.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the last hour.
How you and Mambo were just talking about NXT people coming up.
Yeah.
What do you think about the likelihood of Blake and Murphy?
Blake and Murphy still, for me, still have a lot of work to do. Remember, this is still a relatively new tag team. They haven't been together as long as some of the others. They've been tag team champs for a while, but they got together. Then they had some time off television. Then they got back on TV and got thrust right into the tag title situation and took the belts off the Lucha Dragons. I think that they need a little bit more work. I'm not sure how well they're going to go over because the WWE is going to tweak them, like with the Ascension. I think Blake and Murphy are fine the way they are. They don't need a gimmick change. But I didn't think the Ascension did either. But WWE is going to tweak them. They're going to try to make them like the Rockers. They're going to do something like that. And if they do bring them up, I think the addition of, what's her name, Alexa Bliss, is paramount. You got to keep her with them. I really like what she brings to that team. You think they're ready?
I think they are, in my opinion.
Well, that's an opinion I trust. What else you got for me, man?
Were you ready to talk about Cena?
I'm about to light the world on fire, yes.
One of my main problems with this guy is I cannot stand this stunner that he does. It pisses me off every time I see him do it.
We're going to get to it. Hang with me for a second, as a matter of fact. I'm going to get to the final note here. You want to hang for a few minutes?
Yeah, sure.
All right, check this out. All right. So the final thing I got in my copious amounts of notes is, of course, the U.S. Open Challenge, which ends up being the final segment of the night. Cena comes out, doesn't do a lot of talking. Kevin Owens comes to accept the challenge, and I was like, yes, let's do this. Kevin Owens is lighting him up on the mic. He's like, I'm tired of you saying the same bullshit. I'm going to kick your ass and taking the belt. I'm like, yes, let's do it. And then Cesaro comes out, and I'm like, okay? I'm like, no, I'm not a fan of this. Don't do this to me. Please, Lord, don't do this to me. I don't want to see Cesaro, even though I liked the match him and Cena had last week. I didn't want to see it again. I want to see Kevin Owens. And then they did something weird. Cesaro punks Kevin Owens out. Says, you leave this ring or you're going to have issues with Cena and me. And Kevin Owens just walks away. And I knew he'd be back. But it was still, I was like, that's odd. So then my spider sense started tingling. I'm like, are they going to actually drop the belt here to Cesaro? Is that going to happen? That would be incredible. Of course, that didn't happen, but what we did get was an awesome match. It really was an awesome match, but it wasn't because of Cena. I'm going to give Cena all the credit in the world for being innovative. Late in his career, lately, he's been like really innovating moves. Like everybody's been wanting it, and he's finally doing it. So that's great. However, what you just touched on, Pittsburgh boy, that stunner needs to be dropped off the face of the earth and never touched again. He botched that so bad tonight. It was so ugly. Commentating crew saved that move. Said he missed it. He missed it. They saved it because it was ugly.
And honestly, this match was better than the one they had last week.
I agree. And I'm not lighting Cena up for any of that. By the way, Jason Miller, you are live with Dead on Dave. What's going on?
Dead on. How are ya?
I'm alive, brother. How's it down under?
It's afternoon here. Just chilling.
Awesome. What you got for me, bud?
Well, I was really hoping to call him when he got into the Cena stuff because
here we go.
I agree with everything you're saying. I enjoyed the match a lot. I thought it was fantastic. But I'm watching it and I'm thinking, this not just this crowd, but when the crowd chants Cena sucks, it's not just because that's the thing to do and you don't like Cena, so you chant Cena sucks. The fact is, the guy sucks.
He sucks.
He does. Like, he fucking sucks. And it kills me so much because one of my mates, he always tries to defend him and he says, he's always in good matches. He's in good matches. And the fact is, he was working with Cesaro. Cesaro's a fucking champ.
Yeah.
It's not like he's working with just a nobody. Cesaro
he can't have good matches with Adam Rose. He's not having good matches with Bo Dallas. He has to be in there with Daniel Bryan. He has to be in there with CM Punk. He has to be in there with Brock Lesnar, Edge, Kevin Owens, Cesaro. That's who he has to be in there with. He can't do it with anybody. What's that?
Yeah, I mean, I just said I can't agree with you anymore because, frankly, I'm sick of the guy, and I'm not one of those. I don't want him off TV because I think there is something off. He isn't, he admittedly the promo's pretty much the same every week.
It is,
but he's still around to elevate talent. I think he did a really good job of getting Owens onto the main roster in that fashion. Yeah,
Cena serves a purpose, and mostly he serves a purpose. The work he does with the kids, it's unbelievably admirable. He keeps that kid demographic, which is important because the merchandise sales and all that, that's important. He serves a great role, and he really has elevated the United States Championship to a level that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. All this is true.
I think he's making up. Sorry, Matt. I think he's making up for the lack of title defenses that Dean made.
Yeah,
when he held it.
That's a really good point because Dean did not defend that thing at all. It felt like,
but I thought it was funny.
It's just when I'm looking at, and I'm trying to preface all this because I'm about to really go off here. Cena, I'm giving Cena all the credit in the world for being who he's been, and it's great. And I have a lot of respect for John Cena. However, I can't take any more. This non-selling that John Cena does. He no-sold some amazing moves from Cesaro. At least pretend for a second that something stunned you. Jesus Christ. Put your hands up to your face in agony. Bite your fingers. Do something that shows that something affected you. And if they didn't wipe it in your face enough during the match, after a grueling, long 25-minute match that he had with Cesaro, Kevin Owens comes to the ring. Kevin Owens comes to the ring, ambushes him, and Cena AAs him right out of the fucking ring. I was so livid because I'm like, this is why they hate Cena. This is why the Cena haters exist. It's not because he's terrible. It's because he does terrible things. You know what I mean? Cena's not 100% bad. Like, I don't believe that anybody's 100% of anything. But he could do.
That's what I'm saying,
He's got terrible tendencies, and it's nothing new. WrestleMania? He was with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels berated him in the middle of the match because he was no-selling a leg injury. It's what Cena does.
Dead on. Have you caught him calling spots in the ring? I don't know if it's just me, but I always see him talking, and I think Cronin touched on it. Oh no, he was talking about the selling with the long hair, but also with people with long hair, they can kind of let it sort of droop over their head, and they can talk, they can call spots, and it's not really noticeable. But Cena, it's so obvious. He doesn't even try and hide it.
No, he doesn't, because he's just lost in being Cena, and that's the thing. He just walks around being John Cena.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You got anything else from Mr. Miller?
No, I just really wanted to weigh in on that Cena thing. I do have one more thing, actually, just in regards to the Austin thing.
Yeah.
What I noticed the last few years with the video game, and you were saying something about Ultimate Warrior before. Yeah, like he was announced as, I think it was a pre-order bonus or something. Yep. And then off that, they had this sort of working relationship. And a similar thing with the first sort of instance in WWE was that 2K commercial, and then actually he debuted at Survivor Series. And Batista, they put him in the game a couple of years ago before he came back. I just think it's sort of foreshadowing of something that Austin's on the cover.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm in agreement. But it's not only that. It's not only that, though. It's the fact that he's signed a 12-month contract to do the network podcasts. He's working more than ever. Yeah, he's got 11 more he's doing. So, yeah.
Sick. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Great call.
No worries, mate. I'm going to keep listening.
All right, buddy. I appreciate that. And make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, do that as well.
I already have.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Miller. I appreciate that. Take it easy, bud. Jason Miller, everybody. Jason Miller. Where do you weigh in on this whole Cena situation, Pittsburgh boy? I kept you around for a reason. What you got?
Like I said, I mean, that stunner pisses me off. I honestly what I actually like Cena more back. I think it was '06 when it was New Year's Revolution time.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in the chamber match with Carlito, Chris Masters, and all of them, as Edge came and cashed in.
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was around that. It was around that time when I actually liked Cena, but then as years progressed, when he started becoming like Super Cena, that's when I just no.
Yeah, because it became the same old thing. You know, it's same old Cena, same old shit. It's all we ever get. You know.
Yeah, it's like Kevin Owens said, same things are said every single week.
Yeah, it gets frustrating. And I give him a pass on a lot of that because that's who they want him to be. That's who he is. And I get that, and I'm okay with it most of the time. But when he no-sells like he did tonight, it makes me sick to my ass. It really does. My anus explodes in violent diarrhea because of how disgusted it makes me. It really does piss me off something fierce.
But what do you think the likelihood is of them making this a triple threat?
I think it's pretty high. The fact that Cesaro has performed so well and they put him in the main event spot this week tells me a lot. It could mean nothing. I mean, the WWE sometimes just does stuff. But my hopes are pretty high. If you see Cesaro and Kevin Owens in a match next week, or maybe even as early as SmackDown, and Cesaro gets a victory, there's a very good possibility he gets inserted into that match. Very good possibility.
Because I've been seeing people put on here, well, not on this one. I was on a Cronin's show before saying how they don't want a triple threat because we already have the Miz, Big Show, and Ryback in a triple threat for the IC title.
I don't give a shit about that. I don't care if we get 2 triple threats in the same night. That doesn't matter to me. We've seen multiple triple threats on the same evening before. That matters little, especially because the Miz, Big Show, Ryback is probably going to be a train wreck. So That doesn't bug me at all. You got anything else for me, man?
That's really all I got.
I appreciate the call, bud. Thanks for sticking around and sitting through all of my anger and venom. I haven't finished yet. I'm still going to cuss some more here.
Well, thanks for taking the call.
Hey, man, no, I appreciate you always watching, man. You're a good viewer, and I really do appreciate it.
All right, man.
Take it easy, bud. Pittsburgh Boy 96, everybody. Pittsburgh Boy 96. And if you're in the chat just sitting there, make sure you do something with your life and like the Dead on Dave video that you're watching right now. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that as well. And if you're subscribing to people and you're just new to YouTube, you don't subscribe to a lot, subscribe to Joe Cronin as well, the show that I was doing right before this. And if you're a little bit confused as to why Dead on Dave is live, it's because I will be going live each and every Monday after I do the Joe Cronin show. Yes, I'm going to do double duty for you because I love you people. It's what I do. I get a rush out of this. You're my heroine. That's it. You're my heroine. You're my PCP. So thank you for being that needle that goes right into the arm. And some weeks I will do camera, but it's just too goddamn hot here in Deutschland. Germany's burning my nuts off right now. It's too hot. I want to kill myself. But let's finish up here. We've done about an hour. Don't got a lot much more to say. I know it's getting late all over the United States of America. And if you're over in Europe and stuff, then it's perfectly, you're like, hey, no, it's perfectly in the middle of the day for me, or beginning of the day. So, John Cena. What else can we say? Are we tired of the constant bullshit with John Cena? How can you not be? It's just the no-selling. That's my biggest issue, is the no-selling. That's the thing that just completely grinds my gears to the nubs, you know? I can't deal with it. There was a time, and Bret Hart touched on this recently, there was a time where selling somebody's moves on you, the punishment, it was so important, and it was an art form. It's completely lost. You don't see it at all. And it's so frustrating. And Cena's at the forefront of that right now. You know, it's just like, come on, can you act like it hurts? Can you act like you care just a little bit? I don't know. Let's go into the chat here and let's finish up the show. I want you guys to go ahead and do me a favor. If you're in the chat just sitting there, go ahead and throw in the chat what your rating for Monday Night Raw was. Mine is about a 7 out of 10. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think of Monday Night Raw this week. Let's look and see what people are saying. Thunder129, oh Dave, when Finn Balor goes up to the main roster, will he oh boy, epic sneeze. When Finn Balor goes up to the main roster, will leave Balor or Finn? What? I don't know what that means. His name, it'll probably still remain Finn Balor. I have heard talks, more epic sneezing. Oh, yeah, epic sneeze to start my day. I have heard rumors that when Balor and Hideo Itami go up to the main roster, there is a possibility that they revert to their old names. There is a possibility that we see Prince Devitt, and there's a possibility we see Kenta. I doubt it now. That was back when NXT really wasn't on that big high rise. This is when they first came in. So, it's what, bless you out of 10. Well done. Thank you out of 10. That made me laugh. That's funny. But now that NXT has its own brand and these guys are having their own identity, and hell, I mean, it's going to the point where they're having their own separate pay-per-view at a major event the night before SummerSlam in the Barclays Arena, same place that SummerSlam is going to be held. The night before, we're getting NXT TakeOver. That's huge. So I think it's pretty cool. Jeff Cena says, I want Cena to go back to Thugonomics. No, I'm good. I don't need that. Logan Barrett gives it 6.5 out of 10. Jeff Cena gives it a 9 out of 10. Pittsburgh Boy, 6.5 out of 10. Mr. Ertz View or L's View, whatever. Thank you bless you out of 10, which is hysterical, and I love that. So looks like that's about gonna do it. We're about to wrap this thing up. I appreciate all the comments. I thank you guys for joining me right here live after the Joe Cronin show, and I hope you guys enjoyed it quite a bit. I did. I had a very good night tonight. I thought Raw was awesome at points, especially that third hour. Had a great time over the Joe Cronin show, and I had a great time with you guys as well. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the comments. You guys are awesome. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and check out Joe Cronin Show. We did a great review. Check out Tommy C, Shot from the Point. If you like hockey and you need your no bullshit sports fix, go over to Shot from the Point and see how hockey's supposed to be talked about. Dave, will you take your shirt off again? Yes. David will get naked once again for the camera at some point. But you can't just give it away. I'm not going to give away these sumptuous man boobs. It'll come in time. I promise you that. So, there it is. Thank you guys very much for joining me. We will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. Keep an eye out for all the great videos that are coming down the pipe right here and everywhere else within the community. We'll see you next time. And remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Okay, here we go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walked the bridge and we built it. 2 hoes got the boy on kill clip. My team good and we rollin'. It ain't really hard to see that I'm fresher. I'm a F5 of Brock Lesnar. We ain't got time to listen. Yo, lecture. Let him put the title up and I get your bitch. Ask me, we ain't never made up. When the times got rough, we ain't never gave up. Boy, you next to the one like Morpheus. So the NLO can't fuck with us. That's real talk in this purple rain. Know some real dudes that'll bring the pain. pain. Stay fresh, rock shades like Johnny K. So they got a bad bitch, don't song your blade. He ain't put in work, we can ask your girl. Mad cause she said I'm the best in the world. When it comes to the game, they honor me. I destroy your league, Sean Connery. It's a mere depiction what I'm clone like. Team on like a hard light. Love bad girls that's all night. With a gang of weed and we all right. Found my inner Himoli. We don't run from victory. Keep pouring off that smearing off. I've been a boss like Tommy C. We work hard, ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise, better analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they called it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. We work hard, ain't nobody that's fresh. You ain't gotta compromise, better analyze. Cause they call the boy Brock Lesnar. Bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they called it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. Okay, stop the hate. Can't stand y'all hoes that imitate. All you lames in the game trying to perpetrate. Make it hard for a G that'll percolate. Got good shit for your brain. I done came up from spitting my pain. Weed that I smoke be keeping me sane. Nice with the ice, I'm Patrick Kane, man. You ain't gotta tell them that they close to me. Get cut from the vasectomy. MCs on the mic can't step to me. Got a place located where the Grammys be. Can't see the spot that I'm after. Now the streets wanna call me master. Got a click that'll bring disaster. We stamp coast like Tampa. Hell yeah, my money long. Did it right, no Armstrong. Hot chicks with beer pong. Damn right, we dead on.